Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Uncovering the Hidden Agendas, a video series dedicated to showing you all how Satan has put his hand of influence on just about every aspect of society. So today's episode is my third on television. The first one was just a general overview of what happens in the television industry. Part 2 was children's TV shows. Today is going to be both. And as you can see from the bottom of the screen, many of the top 100 TV shows of all time will be mentioned in this video. And if you want to check out that list for yourself, it was made by IGN.com. So here we go. Are you experienced enough to recognize the Illuminati symbolism that is so prevalent in popular culture and mass media? From advertising and cinema to music and video games, everywhere you look, the elitists are shoving in our faces the very images that stand for the secrecy that is tearing this country and the entire world apart. You see, whether or not you know it, all of this is all around us every day. These symbols and images get rammed down our throats, and instead of questioning it like we should, we just accept it all and ultimately perpetuate the problem. Yeah, so it's all around us, and hopefully through video series like this one, you can know the truth. So you see on the screen several examples of game shows from throughout the years. We got the red and blue symbolism, symbolic of Freemasonry and various occult rituals. You got Price is Right down here, red, blue, yellow, and green. The 4 colors involved in witchcraft rituals, representing the 4 elements that they believe rule everything that they call on to invoke those rituals. Up here you got an old game show, To Tell the Truth, with a guy that looks like a Baphomet. And down here you got Jerry Springer throwing up the 666. So now let's get into some specific TV shows with various things and symbolism that we see, starting with pagan symbolism. The Simpsons. In this scene, the Simpsons are all dressed as Greek gods. Bart as Hermes, Maggie as Artemis, Lisa as Athena, Homer as Zeus, and Marge as Hera. And they all magically fly onto the couch, except for Lisa, who's apparently missing. They all look around for her, and Lisa suddenly rips out of Homer's head, reading Homer's Odyssey. However, this leaves Homer with a hole in his head. Homer then takes Maggie's pacifier out of her mouth and puts it in the hole in his head, which then sucks her pacifier, making the same sounds as Maggie does with her traditional pacifier sucking. Clash of the Titans, a fairly old kids show, a contemporary adaptation of Greek mythology where the supposed descendants of the gods are walking among mere modern mortals, according to ScreenRant.com. Rick and Morty features a character called Hephaestus, the Greek god of blacksmiths, metalworking, carpenters, craftsmen, artisans, sculptors, metallurgy, fire, and volcanoes. Hephaestus was recruited in Rick's heist crew and the one crew over the Crew Coups Morty episode to stop Heistotron. And Family Guy. So you see here Jesus is pictured with Vishnu in what looks like heaven, right? They're above clouds. And in this particular scene in this episode, Peter Griffin looks up and says, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." The scene automatically switches to heaven, and Jesus starts to say, "Oh, actually, it wasn't me." Vishnu interrupts him and says, No, it's okay. I'm used to it." And this is normalized. The God of heaven is the one true God, but these shows are trying to indoctrinate us into believing that there are multiple gods. How about Masonic references and symbols? These are all over the place. Here's a quick clip from The Simpsons.
Freemasons run the country! Look! Achy Breaky Stacy for $1.99! Live from the Improv.
But word about the gem got out, and a group of high-ranking Freemasons led by Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, and King George III staged a phony War of Independence to cover their search for the gem.
I still don't believe all the founding fathers were stone cutters.
That's because you trust your stupid school.
Oh, I've known about the gem for years. You see, my dear girl, I joined the Freemasons before it was trendy. That's my eyeball on the dollar bill. That's also my pyramid.
I'm a member! Huh? What? What? Ah! Oh, sure. Let's see. I'm an elk, a mason.
There's a secret meeting place.
Yes, let's go inside.
Sounds good.
I saw weird stuff in that place last night. Weird, strange, sick, twisted, eerie, godless, evil stuff. I want in.
This we call the unblinking eye.
And by the sacred parchment, I swear that if I reveal the secrets of the stonecutters, may my stomach become loaded and my head be plucked of all but 3 hairs.
And that's the image that was showing as he took that oath. So man, just that clip alone, a lot of symbolism hidden in that. And we could be here all day talking about how loaded those 2 minutes of footage were. But for the sake of time, let's just keep going. Several examples featured in Gravity Falls. 1 eye symbolism, pyramid, several symbols all over the place. Going back to Family Guy again, the book behind Brian's head has that all-seeing eye on it. In the Squid Game, this is a shot taken from the playground scene, and you notice all the characters in this scene are wearing either blue or red, and those represent the blue and red lodges of Freemasonry. Later on in the game, in the episode, there are 3 players remaining, and they are given a feast, and you notice several things about this feast scene. The table is a pyramid shape. They are on a checkerboard floor, and these might be representing Masonic pillars. All in the Family in Season 2, Episode 1, Archie says to Mr. Whitehead, "Whitehead, come here. Now listen, I know you 13 years from the lodge, right? And you know me? Now can I get a simple answer to a simple question? How much?" The story of Robin Hood should be familiar to us all. In the late 50s, a TV show was made out of it. And in episode 88, Robin is made a Freemason. The character Walter Harsborough tells him, "First put your foot to mine, your knee to mine, your hand to mine, your hand upon my back." Robin follows Walter's instructions, and then Walter intones, "There's marrow in these bones." Stepping back, Walter then tells Robin, "Now you can freely enter any Mason's lodge. Welcome, brother." Andy Griffith Show, Season 6, Episode 166. Andy talks with Aunt B about going to see a relative. Andy says, "We drove up to Asheville that time, remember?" B says, "When your cousin became a Mason." Then Andy says, "You want to drive up to Asheville, see cousin Evan Moore? He's the Grand Master now." Big Bang Theory. While the theme song is going on in the introductory credits, approximately 12 seconds in, an image of the U.S. DeKalb briefly appears in a high-speed photo montage. And if you look closely, at the top of that ship is what looks like a squaring compass. Masonic images or references appear in 4 episodes of the Fox Police drama Bones. Here's what was said in a 2007 episode, which means Capital City, D.C. was laid out according to Masonic symbols. Notice the pentagram here over the White House, and you see the compass and the square. The point of the compass is over the U.S. Capitol building. So in addition to these shows making several hints and references to Freemasonry, they're also uncovering some facts about history and geography. In the British series Doctor Who, a framed Master Mason certificate of a style issued by the United Grand Lodge of England is seen hanging on the wall of Mr. Stoker's office. This is a shot taken from MTV Live in 2010, where a square and compass emblem can be seen on the back wall. It is also worth noting that from 2006 until 2012, MTV was produced out of what was once a Masonic temple at 888 Yonge Street in Toronto. The show Supernatural includes a minor character, Claire Novak, who wants to become a demon hunter. Posted prominently above her desk is a Masonic square and compass's emblem. So isn't it interesting that this secret society, ironically, is placing their sphere of influence, their trademarks, all over television? Like, is that to show their domination of everything? Like you heard in that Simpsons clip at the beginning, Freemasons run the country. Like, what else could be the reason that they're so prominent in TV yet so secret? Make it make sense. And believe it or not, we also find Masonic references and symbols in kids' shows. I'm going to linger for a little bit on the show George Shrinks. It came out around 2000. So let's start with the intro and the theme song of the show. George Shrinks is shown here holding a ring, which to me represents a Masonic ring. So then a couple seconds later, George Shrinks holds up this ring. It's worth noting that he's only 3 inches tall, so when he holds up this ring, all you can see is his arm and the ring. But to me, this symbolizes the secrecy of Freemasonry. Later on in the intro, you see the checkerboard symbolism and the one eye symbolism, very common in Freemasonry. In one episode, down on the bayou, he is given a compass as a gift from his father. It was regarded as a family heirloom, but as we should know by now, the square and compass is represented in the logo of Freemasonry. And what's in the middle of that logo? A G, which is featured on George Shrink's back. Also in this show, you see an example of predictive programming. This comes from the episode Snowman's Land, which aired in 2000. And I believe it hints at coronavirus. Check it out.
What was so important that you'd risk getting stuck in a blizzard?
Well, the only way I can explain it is for you to see for yourself. Hopefully he's still out there.
Oh my! George, that's marvelous! It's beautiful!
It's terrific. It's...
Snowman! Wow, you did that? Just for me?
Well, yeah. With a little help from Old Man Winter. I just couldn't let a perfectly good snowman streak get broken on account of the measles.
Thanks, pal. You're too much. Come on, let's get a picture of it right now.
Becky?
Or not?
Maybe later, Bex. When there's way more spots.
Yeah.
Good. I think that's enough excitement for one day.
Me too. I see 2 little measle mongers who need some shut-eye.
Catch you later, George.
How about a little TV? Maybe Dash Smasher's on.
Can't. Storm blew out the cable.
Rats. Oh well. All in all, it turned out to be a pretty neat day. Becky got her snowman, and I got her measles, which was okay by me. I mean, if you have to go into quarantine, there's nothing better than going into it with your best friend, right?
If you have to go into quarantine, sounds a lot like coronavirus terminology, doesn't it? And then Junior wearing a mask, his little brother. Also a hint of the coronavirus. Another example of predictive programming we see is in The Simpsons. I'm sure you guys heard about this in the episode Bart to the Future, also in 2000. Bart sees a vision 30 years in the future in 2030 when Lisa is the President of the United States and she has to fix the economy after the disastrous presidency of Donald Trump. So then at the 2021 inauguration, Kamala Harris is seen wearing the exact same thing that Lisa wore in that episode. A purple outfit, a necklace, and earrings. And yes, you read that right. After the disastrous presidency of Donald Trump. Donald Trump was the former president in the episode of The Simpsons. But let's focus on this outfit a little more. Why did Kamala Harris wear purple? Was it a gesture to The Simpsons? Let's check out some of the deeper symbolism behind it. Violet symbolizes the energies and influence of Neptune and Pisces. It is also associated with the powers of the mind, such as psychic abilities. For Satanists who use violet, it can represent spells of psychic origin or influence and spells that affect dreams. Purple is the color of secrecy and mystery. Purple is associated with the cosmos and supernatural energy. It is the color of evolution, which clearly is beyond the control of us humans and anything else in our physical world as we know it. Purple helps one resonate on the highest vibrational level with the universe, intuitively drawn to the rewards of life. So there could have been a very spiritual, esoteric, and perhaps even satanic reason that she wore purple. And in addition to everything mentioned here, as I said earlier, the red and blue lodges of Freemasonry. Red and blue makes purple. So, could be several reasons why she wore purple, and they aren't good. Moving on to several examples of blasphemy against God. In the show Saturday Night Live, two actors are shown here playing Lil Nas X and God. This episode of Saturday Night Live came out after the release of Montero, Lil Nas X's song, where he is giving a lap dance to the devil. So, in this Saturday Night Live episode, he was asked to give a lap dance to God to even things out. Why is this stuff normalized? Again, going back to Family Guy, this is the image of God in their show. Same as Saturday Night Live and what a lot of other people believe God to look like. This old man with a long beard. But in all reality, no one knows what God looks like. And frankly, no one should try. But let's just look a little deeper and see how far Family Guy goes with this God character. He is shown hitting on multiple women. They even have a scene of Adam and Eve, and look behind God. He is shown hiding several magazines of porn. So that is just complete blasphemy. Adam and Eve were the sinners in the original story, but now they're making God out to be a sinner too. So trying to portray what God looks like is one thing, but to completely take away the supreme nature of God and subject him to nothing more than a joke, yeah, this is not okay. Check out this clip. This example of blasphemy features, of all things, flatulence, farting, passing gas.
Everything started with the Big Bang. It was a Saturday night, and God and his roommate Chugs were arm wrestling.
You're going down, man! Oh, dude, that is sick!
Yeah, undefeated! Oh, wait, here comes another one. Quick, give me your lighter. Then, over millions of years, evolution took its course.
So yeah, using a fart to create the world. But then, coming right behind that and mentioning the Big Bang Theory and evolution, like, what kind of twisted knowledge is that? Jesus is also shown in this show throwing up several satanic hand signs, the 666 here at the top, and what we think is the peace sign, but actually represents the horned god and the devil. He's also portrayed cussing several times in several episodes. So, again, supreme nature is gone, just nothing more than a joke. We also see influence of the occult in several TV shows. Let's start with the Andy Griffith Show. In Season 4, Episode 25, Charlene Darling Wash uses a mountain ritual to divorce Dud Wash and marry the uninterested Andy. Charlene buried a beak of an owl, 4 tail feathers from a chicken hawk, a piece of bacon, and a broke comb under an oak tree to do this ritual. She then repeated an incantation. Beak of owl, strip of swine, tooth of the comb, take mine from mine, Kanaba in, Kanaba out, Kanaba in, and round about. So using an occult ritual, incantation, yeah, this is not stuff to mess with. And then Barney, later in the episode, discovers a way to curse the proposed union in a book on mountain folklore and superstition, and it involves riding a horse. In another episode of the Andy Griffith Show, Season 5, Episode 14, Barney buys a fortune-telling game with tarot-like cards and lets Opie try it out. As a result of a series of coincidences, Barney comes to believe that it can make your wishes come true. Opie is granted 3 wishes, which ironically all come to fruition. Also in this episode, Barney gets Andy in trouble with Helen when he summons the 200-year-old spirit of Count Istvan Teleki from a kit he bought at an auction. So now we've got fortune-telling, summoning spirits, tarot cards, wishing, magic, and involving kids in this stuff. Like, yeah. There's also an episode of the Andy Griffith Show called The Haunted House, and I don't even need to explain what happens in that episode. We also see a few examples of Faustian deals in television. Again, this is when someone is offered something, could be fame, money, riches, something they really like in exchange for their soul to the devil or a devil-like character. One example we see is in Tom and Jerry. Check it out.
So, do we have a deal? Excellent. Now for the paperwork. Sign away. Well, who the devil did you think I was? The Tooth Fairy. And now, you are under contract as my permanent slave. Forever!
Permanent slave, huh? That's the devil's goal. Here's a Super Bowl commercial from 2013 made by Mercedes-Benz. This one is loaded with occult elements in addition to the Faustian deal. So as the commercial plays, I'll talk through everything that we see.
Nice car.
Alright, so first we've got Satan appearing as a normal person, angel of light. Yes, he's wearing black, but other than that, we don't know or can't really tell who he is yet.
Sure is. Make a deal with me.
I missed it. But on his hand, there it is. Whoops. On his hand, looks like a Masonic ring.
Make a deal with me, kid. You can have the car and everything that goes along with it.
Alright, you can have the car and everything that goes along with it. So now he's offered a Faustian deal. And so, as he's considering this deal, he thinks and imagines in his head what would happen as a result of him accepting this deal. Pause. Alright, so here's the contract that he's considering signing, but look at this message near the bottom of the contract. That is Latin, and check out the translation. Sigilla posvere magister diabolus et demones translates to Master Seal of the Devil and Demons. Yikes. And then right below that message we have what is called the Chi-Rho symbol. You might have seen this in church. It is featured in several Christian denominations, but check out the history of it. Despite its use in several church denominations, the Chi-Rho has pre-Christian connections and is believed to have been revered by the pagan Greeks as representative of good fortune. The Chi-Rho was also the emblem of the Egyptian god Horus. So on this contract, we've got demonic and pagan ties all wrapped into one.
Thanks. But I think I got this.
This September,
pause there. The 13 in September 2013 lit up, and as we've talked about before, 13 is the number of rebellion in satanic circles.
Soul Free, the seductive CLA, starting.
But I think I got this.
This September, set your soul free.
Set your soul free, said by the narrator. Come on, man. So this guy didn't take the Faustian deal, but now we're expected to take the deal. Set our soul free. Come on, man. Come on, man. Goodness gracious. So it's not just represented in TV. Many of the actors, probably without us knowing, have actually made Faustian deals. Roseanne Barr is an example of that, and she talks about that on this talk show appearance. Roseanne Barr, for those who don't know, was the star of the TV show Roseanne, also a stand-up comedian. She's done a lot in the television industry.
She's going to be mad at you.
Well, also my book is that, you know, and I wanted to thank you because you let me come on your show and sing. And that was, you know, a lot of my book is about my wanting to sing ever since I was a little girl, and my family lied to me and told me that I was better than Shirley Temple, and I believed them.
See, that you're not helping a kid when you do that.
No, and I totally believed them and everything. And then when I was 6, all of a sudden, you know, I was a half. They started to like tell my younger cousin that she was
the real singer.
Yeah, and it like really upset me. So I like summoned Satan, and I write about how I made it.
Where do you summon Satan?
It's in the chapter called "Eat, Pray, Love, Conjure Satan." And when I was 12 years old, I signed a deal with Satan in my room, and I was to.
CBS doesn't condone this.
Wait a minute. Because I wanted to get famous no matter what, and you know, then I forgot that I had this deal with Satan and everything, and then I got really famous, and then one day I like had this tragic singing accident at
yes, I remember that, yeah.
And I realized then that Satan was coming for my soul, so yeah, he wanted me to pay up. So about that, and how at the end I invite Satan to dinner at Spago, and
you should. He's there most nights, but you should.
But wait, and I asked him to, you know, give me a refinance on my soul thing, and so that works out. It has a happy ending.
Oh, so you and Satan are good then.
Yeah, Satan. I have to say it's really cool because I totally.
Satan is not true. You can't say that on CBS.
I didn't say that. I said I lure him in. See.
Oh, and then you have a fiddle competition. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah. Do you play the fiddle?
No.
Any musical instrument?
Well, I have taken musical lessons in my life, but I don't really play. I forgot it. I don't know. I took the piano for a while.
Right.
What a weird question.
So the audience thinks she's joking, but she's not. This stuff is real, man. And her co-star on Roseanne is not so innocent either. Check out what John Goodman had to say in a television interview.
Is there anything you've done where you go, oh, I didn't like that?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you critical of yourself?
All the time. Yeah, it just gives me the creeps to watch myself. We're doing this the show Alpha House, and I'm running for office again, and there's a big bus, and it had like a 10-foot picture of my face on it. Just, it made me want to go back to Satan worship.
Well, I think
it worked for me. It got me a career.
Goodness gracious. Moving on. All right. Let's see some blunt examples of satanic symbolism and witchcraft. Several images of that in The Simpsons. Here's 3 images from South Park. Looks like he's playing a guitar, right? But look closely. Got the pentagram, first of all. But the body of the guitar is actually a goat head. Another common symbol in Wiccanism and Satanism. In the show The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the phrases "Hail Satan" and "Praise Satan" are said numerous times. One of the former shows on Disney Channel was called The Gargoyles, and in this show there is literally a group called the Illuminati. Let's see how the Illuminati are described in this show. There are 36 ranks in the Illuminati. Each rank contains the same number of members as the level of rank. For example, there is only 1 member in the number 1 rank, 2 members in the number 2 rank, and so on until 36 members in the number 36 rank. Interestingly, this means there are constantly 666 members in the society, number of the Mark of the Beast. In one episode, the character Matt says they're called the Illuminati. Way I hear it, they run everything. Even the president works for them. So again, television uncovering little by little what's really going on in society. Going back to the show Squid Game one more time, you may or may not know what this show is about, so here it is summed up. The Netflix series Squid Game is about poor people taking part in horrific and fatal games while elite VIPs watch the show for entertainment. The VIPs walk around with animal masks on their faces. This is similar to a custom in the Church of Satan, wearing animal masks to symbolize the embrace of humans' animalistic side. Through messages and symbolism, Squid Game reveals what it is truly about: society being ruled by a sick occult elite that takes pleasure in dividing, controlling, dehumanizing, infantilizing, and outright abusing the masses. Kind of sounds like what's going on today. Little by little, their plans are being uncovered. So with all that being said, we're in a downward spiral. Up until 100 years ago, entertainment meant the opera, the ballet, the theater, and the symphony. Then film, radio, and television took over. The early years of these new media forms were pretty harmless and age-appropriate for everyone. Fast forward to today, TV shows are filled with sex, violence, profanity, drugs, and all forms of evil as we saw today. So what happened? How did this revolution occur? Desensitization, searing of the conscience. Society didn't go to bed one night with one set of values and wake up the next morning with an entirely different set. It's been a gradual process of getting more and more comfortable with lower standards. Let's take pop music, for example. Here are some song titles from throughout the years that show the gradual process of lowered standards. 1964, the Beatles released I Want to Hold Your Hand. 1967, Let's Spend the Night Together. 1972, Go All the Way. 1975, Bungle in the Jungle. 1981, Physical. 1987, I Want Your Sex. 1991, I Want to Sex You Up. 1994, Bump and Grind. 1995, Temptations. 1999, Thong Song. 2001, Take It Off. 2005, My Humps. 2006, Promiscuous. 2008, I Kissed a Girl. 2009, Birthday Sex. 2012, Slut Like You. 2013, Sex Dreams. 2015, Sex You Back to Sleep. 2016, Vagina. 2017, Fetish. And 2020, WAP, which has a not suitable for work abbreviation. So how about that? In the span of 60 years, we went from innocent hand-holding to graphic, very graphic descriptions of what is happening in the bedroom, or at least what's about to happen. So the same has happened in television. We went from innocent TV shows and all kinds of variety shows to shows that literally glorify Satan. So bearing that in mind, I appeal to you this verse: abstain from all appearance of evil. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. Anything you see on TV that is not wholesome, that disrespects God, that is just pure evil, abstain from it. Even G-rated programs are not wholesome. Many G-rated programs, including the ones I talked about today, promote occultism, New Age, pagan images, witchcraft, sorcery, evolution, narcissism, mockery of holy things, and pushing the envelope of childhood innocence. The rating system of television today falls under worldly philosophy, which is not wholesome and is not Christian. You might have heard the illustration about the frog in the pot of hot water. If you put a frog in a pot of boiling water, it will jump out right away. But if you put the frog in a pot with room temperature water and gradually heat up the temperature, it won't jump out. You will not be able to detect the gradual change in temperature until it's too late. So just like the frog in that pot that gradually heats up, God's people who are careless about separating themselves from Hollywood's filth become desensitized by it. So abstain from every appearance of evil so that you can get out of the pot before it's too late. With that being said, I'll wrap it up for this episode. Hope to see you all in the next one. Be vigilant, my friends.